Hey, this is Majin. Here's some comic reviews for you. Now, before we go into the reviews, though, you guys might want to take a look at what's going on at Image Expo. There's some really cool books look like they're being announced. Azzarello's Moonshine looks really good. It's about the Prohibition. Black Cloud, that looks really cool. It's basically going to be an occult horror type story. Glitter Bomb, it's another horror revenge thing. The Hunt is another horror looking book. I mean, yeah, right. There are a lot of horror books, but there definitely looks like there's definitely some cool stuff coming from Image. So take a look at that. Now, I want to do some reviews. Some of these I'm going to go kind of quick because there's a lot this time. Okay, Invincible Iron Man number 8, Road to the Civil War. I have no idea how the Civil War basically ties into this. To me, there's no true real indication, but the only reason why I wanted to mention it was the best part of the book was okay, a little bit about the plot so I can get to why it's good. Rodney's missing and Tony Stark's looking for him, and they happen to be in Japan, hence the ninjas, and he basically gets the help of Spider-Man to help track his buddy down. Now, the dialogue between Tony and Peter at the beginning of the book and during the battle of the book, best part of the best part of the book. Other than that, couldn't care. All right, Old Man Logan. This was a decent read. I'm really liking this series, and this is one of those things that I kind of hope that they just carve out its own little place, and so it can play in its own little playground. But basically, what was I think interesting about this one was it's basically takes place before the Extraordinary X-Men, where like Wolverine basically joins the team, and it basically settles like what happened. It's basically Old Man Logan finally realizing that this isn't his world and he needs to find his own place in it. And there's a little bit of fighting with Shaft and Steve Rogers, but it's basically when they go to the grave of Wolverine. That was all really good, and overall I have to say, solid read, very solid. Black Panther number 1. I don't know. I'm gonna get the next issue, but it's basically what it is Wakanda is in the midst of a civil war, and it's basically to put it simply, just imagine this: there's the government that's trying to do things the right way, and then there's people who are manipulating the situation to cause the instability, and it's the struggle between the government to continue to do the right instead of reacting knee-jerk type thing and overreacting, I should say, to what's really going on. And of course the Black Panther has to save the day. But overall, I mean, it was a decent read. I don't think this is going to be a book that's going to be for everybody, though. But it was definitely. I mean, this is definitely for, I think, a little bit older crowd. Like, young kid's not going to. He's going to get confused. But overall, it was a decent read, I would say. Okay, New Avengers number 9, American Kaiju. Okay, first of all, it's the government basically took all of the super serums, like Steve Rogers, the Lizard, everything. Put everything under one toxic cocktail. And they basically got a giant Godzilla-like monster. Now, I get why the creature looks the way he does. But on the other hand, it's just kind of like, you just copied Godzilla. It's really way too similar to the Godzilla. And I kind of wish that the creative team thought of something a little different than just that. But I get it. If you're going to use the lizard's soup serum, that's something that you're pretty much going to get. But overall, I can't say this was the greatest book of all time, but I will say it was just hovering above, slightly below average. It's to me it seemed too fan servicey for Godzilla fans, and this would have been really good if it came out maybe closer to when Godzilla came out, but it's not. I mean, it came out way after, and then the Japanese one's still not coming out for a while yet, so it's kind of like stuck in the middle. And there's even a Power Ranger thing at the end, and so to me it was just like, it to me it just seemed insincere. It seemed more fan servicey, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. Maybe if I was a kid, I might have enjoyed it more. Okay, Uncanny X-Men number 6. This is the beginnings of the Apocalypse War. Warren is finally communicating to Psylocke, and he basically issues a warning of sorts. So we have the team, Psylocke and Magneto doing that. Then we have M and Sabretooth waiting to meet somebody who tracked M down for some crucial information, so to speak. I'll just word it that way so this way we don't spoil too much, since I've already accidentally spoiled some other books. But anyways, the art is decent, story's good so far. There's a part of me that makes me wonder how long this book is really going to stay viable, because this is pretty much a team of villains, and they're not really even acting villainy. It's like, but they're not really acting reformed, because you want them to act a little bit more villainy, and it's kind of like in this weird limbo. Like, if you looked at Rick Remender's X-Force, that was perfect. And in the sense that that's what you needed, that's what I needed for this. Not exactly, but it was just the attitude that it had. This team to me seems like it's too easily pushed around, and it just seems a little light, for the type of characters that they have in this book series so far. But we'll see where this thing pans out. To me, it was decent. It's decent enough to at least get the next issue, but we'll see how long I keep up with that. Alright, Uncanny Avengers number 8. This was actually a pretty good, like a crossover type book, since this actually took place entirely entirely in the town. And it was basically dealing with Rogue breaking through the psychic, or the mind wipe, so to speak, the brainwashing, and then having her go through the town, finding everybody else in the X teams, and or I should say the Avenger teams, and then breaking the brainwashing on them. So overall, this was like a pretty good read, and it sets up the battle for the next issue. The story was like I said, the story was decent. The art was good. There's a really touching thing about Deadpool in this too, because like you get Tony Stark just getting on his case about being an Avenger, and he just lets it out, so to speak. And I thought that was like a really good part for Deadpool. And overall, I mean, it was a good read. Overall, I enjoyed it. Empress number 1. Alright, this is a sci-fi story. The Stuart Immonen's art is just fantastic. I love his artwork. And to put it simply for you, it's a story of a woman who no longer loves her husband, and she wants to get away from him. But unfortunately, her husband is a psychopathic madman who is incredibly powerful, leader of a galaxy, and will kill and destroy everything in his way because it displeases him. And so she is trying to get away from that. And I say good luck. But overall, I mean, it was a decent read. I'm definitely going to get the next issue, and I'm really curious to see where this is going to go. And we have Poe, number 1. The art was pretty decent. I thought some of the paneling I thought was pretty stupid. Like, you have the X-Wing that's flying through like a canyon type thing, cave system, and then the doors are closing, and they're making it look like there's no way the X-Wing is going to get through, and then that's where they stop it. And then on the next panel later on in the book, you learn he just turns sideways, and I'm just like, really? Like, nobody could have figured that out? And it was just, I'm just very disappointed in that. But basically, this is the prequel to the movie, and it's basically the search for Luke. Overall, it's a decent read. I'm really curious to see where this is going to play out. But I'll definitely get the next couple issues at least. And anyways, I guess that's it for today. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Let me know what you guys liked, what you didn't like. And we'll have some more stuff later. So until next time.